देवी ब्रह्मणि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। जगन्नाथ गोविंद प्रभु, seems your camera is कैमरा टिल्ट हो गया पूरा।
हाँ पता नहीं ब्रो जी, एक्चुअली मैं कोशिश कर रहा था, हो नहीं रहा है, इससे देखता हूँ।
So we'll continue from where we left. हाँ अभी हो गया। We just saw this section. We just completed this section last Sunday. Maitra getting doubt and he's asking questions to Vidura is asking further inquiries by Vidura. Yes, how Lord is connected to the modes of material nature. Lord has no desire, self-satisfied and detached from everything. So how he is connected to matter? So two questions regarding Jiva and regarding, this is a question regarding Jiva. Then why living entities are result in misfortune and misery? He's telling that his mind is greatly illusioned by the distress of this nescience. So asking him to clear up. So Maitreya becomes a little agitated at the beginning, but still he answers because he is God conscious. But it is against logic that Brahman can be covered by Maya. Sun causes the cloud, but the cloud cannot cover the sun. It can cover the vision of the sun of the living entity. So part and parcel living entities, because of the tiny, they are potent, their potencies, therefore they can be illusioned, but the potent cannot be illusioned. That's what Prabhupada says here. Yeah. So this section from 3.7.9, 10, 11, these three shlokas. Maitrivacha Sriyam Bhagavato Maya Yannayena Virudyate Ishwarasya Muktasya Karpanyam Utabandhanam. Certain conditions souls put forward the theory that Supreme Brahman or the personal God is overcome by the illusion or Maya. At the same time, they maintain that he is unconditioned. This is against all logic. This shloka, the next one. Yad artena vinamushya pumsa atma viparyaya pratiyata upadrashtaha swashiraschedanaadikaha. The living entity is in distress regarding his self-identity. He has no factual background like a man who dreams that he sees his head cut off. This shloka. It's like an illusion because the Jivatma can be illusion, but the Paramatma is not illusion. यथा जले चंद्रमां स कंपादिस्तत्कृतो गुण दृश्यते सन अपि दृष्टोर आत्मनो गुण. The moon reflect on the water appears to be to the seer to be tremble due to being associated with the quality of the water. So the self associated with the matter appears to have the qualities of matter. This 9, 10, and 11. These three shlokas. Why I'm repeating? Because you just studied Chatushloki of Bhagavatam. I think Keshav Mahaprabhu taken it further. So when you studied the Chatushloki, there the discussion of 4 verses 37, 38, 36, 37, 38, 39 was there. So in that Chatushloki, these verses from 2.7.9, 3.7.9 to 3.7.11, that is the answer for the second Chatushloki. Vijnana. Chatushloki is divided into 4 parts, right? Jnana, Vijnana, Rahasya, Tadanga. So this 3.7.9 to 11 speaks about the second Chatushloki. Anything which is very attractive but it doesn't remind us of Lord, that is Maya. That is second Chatushloki. Basically, Lord's external energy, how Lord interacts with his external energy. That is called as Vijnana. Everything is coming from the Lord, that is Jnana. Aham samevadre. And how the Lord interacts with his material energy, that is Vijnana. Of course, we have the knowledge that everything has come from Lord. But everything has come from Lord, but when we come across Maya, we get attracted. So that is Jnana is only the name of Jnana. It's only knowledge. There is no Vijnana. There is no wisdom of how to deal with Maya. So this 2.3.7.9 to 11 speaks about Lord interactions with Maya. And the Rahasya. What is that Rahasya? Bhava Bhakti, Ragatmika Bhakti. That is there in 2.9.3738. Is in 2.9.38. So that is spoken here in this chapter in 14th verse. That Maitreya Rishi replies, by bhakti one can overcome Maya. And from 3.7.12 to 13, which verses we covered last time, that is going to speak about sadhana bhakti. Hare Krishna. So let's first go to Chatushloki and read that so that it becomes easier for you to understand what I'm trying to speak out. One minute. Yes, this is 2.9.36. एतावदेव जिज्ञासं तत्त्वजिज्ञासुनात्मनः अन्वयव्यतिरेकाभ्यां यत् सत् सर्वत्र सर्वदा. This is second चतुश्लोकी. First चतुश्लोकी is this अहम एवासम यथा महान्तानि भूतानि भूतेषु च्वास्मि प्रविष्टानि प्रविष्टानि ताता तेषु न तेष्वहम्. It's from 31. Yes. 33. 2.33 to 36. Yeah. This is Chatushloki 1. Aham evasam evagre nanyad yat sad asat param पश्चाद अहम यदेतच्च यो वशिष्यते सोस्म्यहम्. So Lord is shaking hand with Brahma, and Lord is saying to Brahma, it is I, the person of Godhead, was existing before the creation when there was nothing but myself, nor was there material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the person of Godhead. And after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the person of Godhead. This is basically Krishna is telling Brahma. So before the material creation, only Krishna is there. He expands into Balram. Balram expands into 4 quadruple. They again the second quadruple, and then he expands to Sankarsh. Second Sankarshan expands into Mahavishnu. So till Mahavishnu, it is only Lord. And then Mahavishnu, by his glance, he creates Mahat Tattva, Pradhan. And Pradhan, by his glance, Kala, Bhairava, the time factor, and Kali, the goddess, they enter into the cosmic manifestation of Brahmanda, which comes from the pores of Mahavishnu. So before that, till Mahavishnu is alone, the whole cosmic manifestation, जो हम बोलते हैं आध्यात्मिक जगत का जो विस्तार होता है, सिर्फ वही रहता है. लेकिन जो भौतिक जगत का जो विस्तार है, वो नहीं रहता. यानी only Lord is existing till that time. But when the material manifestation starts, then Lord Mahavishnu glances, and then that is called as Mahad Brahma, that is Pradhan. Pradhan, by the glance of Mahavishnu, it becomes Mahad Tattva, Sutra Tattva, Ahankar, and from Ahankar comes 24 elements. So this is basically speaking about this. What is Chatushloki of Bhagavatam? Krishna took it for all of you. But what is the meaning of this verse is Mahavishnu, before the creation of the material world, Mahavishnu existed. And second quadruple, first quadruple, Balram, and then Lord Krishna. So nothing existed. There was no material nature, nor was the cause of creation. Everything, that only Lord existed. So this Chatushloki is divided into Aham Evasam Evagre. I existed. Nanyad Yat Sad Asat Param. Existed before the creation when there was nothing but myself. Nor was there material nature the cause of creation. Yo Vashishyate Sosmiham. This is divided into 4 parts. Okay. So Jiva Goswami, what he writes, he in his commentary to the present section of Maitreya Muni, he shows it in 4 parts. So what Jiva Goswami is explaining of Chatushloki by Maitreya Rishi. Maitreya Rishi is answering question to Vidura. What he has heard from Lord Krishna when Lord Krishna was trying to narrate to Uddhava, which Lord Krishna requested Uddhava to be narrated to Badrikashram, Naranayan Rishi. That's called Paramasthiti. That is much more than Chatushloki. That is also pastimes in Vrindavan and out of Vrindavan. But that also consists what Krishna told to Uddhava. That also consists Paramasthiti also includes this Chatushloki 4 prayers. So Maitreya Rishi, when questioned by Vidura, he's answering once again the Chatushloki. What Krishna answered to Brahma in the beginning of the creation, Maitreya Rishi is answering to Vidura. When Vidura asks these questions in 3.5.1 to 9, speak about the Purusha Avatara, speak about the Leela Avatara, speak about Virat Rupa, speak about planet, position of the planets, speak about the Jivatma. Till 3, 5, 9, 10. Then in the answer, from 10 to 16, he tells speak only if it is related to Krishna. And then from 16 to 20, Maitreya Rishi glorifies Vidura for his glorious position and is grateful to him for asking such question. And from 23, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, Maitreya Rishi starts answering the creation. How Lord creates Mahavishnu. From his pores come the universe. He glances. He becomes Gauradaksha Vishnu and lies down. And from his heart, in the basically the material world, is starting from the sky, ether, and that ether is the heart of the Lord. And basically, its whole spiritual sky. At the one corner, material world is created. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, that section. Vidura, Maitreya answers to Vidura, the creation of the material universe. Therefore, that creation of the material universe, before that only Mahavishnu existed along with Krishna Balram. Spiritual world is existing, but there is no material world. So therefore, Aham Evasam Evagre, that 2.9.33, that refers to Jnana. That what is Jnana? Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam Yat Kincham Jagatam Jagat Tena Taktena Gunjita Magrada Kashashvidana. If you all of you have done Bhakti Shastri, therefore you're doing Bhakti Vaibhav. If you have done Bhakti Shastri, in Bhagavad Gita, 13 to 18 chapter, that is Jnana. First 2 to 6 chapter is Karma Yoga. And then 7 to 12 is Bhakti Yoga. So Jnana, if you carefully see the 13th chapter, the 6 questions which Arjuna is asking to Lord Krishna is nothing but the same thing. Tell me about Kshetra, Kshetragya, Purusha, Prakriti, Jnanam, Gyayam. The 24 elements is Kshetra, body, 84 lakh species, the whole material creation, that is Kshetra. Kshetragya, the soul who is residing in the body, and the Supreme Lord, or Super Soul, who is also residing in the body, he is Kshetragya. So that whole 13, 14, 15, especially 13th chapter, it's about Jnana, 13 to 18. Why? Because it speaks about how this universe is created. And then the 14th chapter and 15th chapter, because in 13th chapter, 22nd shloka, Krishna speaks to Arjuna, Karanam Guna Sangasya Sad Asad Janma Yonishu. That living entity, because of its desire to lord it over material nature, जीवात्मा जब माया को भोगने का प्रयास करता है, उस समय उसको पुनर्जन्म लेना पड़ता है, अच्छे योनि में या बुरे योनि में. सद असद. Try to hear this concept very, very clearly. If you miss out, you will not be able to understand. Please focus. So that 13.22 is Jnana. In the 14th chapter, Krishna explains this knowledge, which I'm going to explain in first and second verse, 14.1 and 14.2. This knowledge is much more important than whatever description of Jnana you heard before. Basically, Krishna is going to explain about how one can come out of that modes. That is the whole 14th chapter. And the only solution to come out of the modes is surrender. Surrender to spiritual master and by Bhakti. That is the whole 14th chapter speaks about it. So, same thing here. If you see carefully, the creation, the knowledge about the creation, Chatushloki 2.9.33 is speaking about Jnana. It has divided into 4 parts. A, B, C, D. 4 lines, 4 parts. First line is A, second line is B, third line is C, fourth line is D. And what it means, the 4 lines, whatever translation is there, that Lord existed before. So that comes in 23rd and 25th verse. For that, I'll have to go there. We will try to go to that section and it becomes clear to all of you. Aham evasam evagre. This is A. Nanyad yad sad asad param. This is B. Paschad aham yad virtaccha. This is C. Yo vashishyate sosmiha. This is D. So what it is? Person and Godhead was existing before the creation. That is called in 23rd, 24th verse. There was nothing but myself. There was no material creature, the cause of the creation. That which you see now is also I, the person and Godhead. And after the annihilation, what will remain will also be this is the four parts. Before the creation, what was there? Only Krishna was there, Mahavishnu was there. There was no material nature. There's no cause of creation. That is B. That which you see now, right now, presently when you are present here, that is Lord only is functioning everything to Vishnu, maintaining. And after the annihilation, प्रलय होने के बाद जो है भगवान ही है. तो ये four parts है. So this is covered in where? In भगवान एक आसेदम अग्र आत्मानात्मनम विभु आत्मे चानुगताओ आत्मा नानामत लक्षणः. The person of Godhead, the master of all humanity, existed prior to the creation as one without a second. It is by his will only that creation is made possible, and again everything merges in him. This supreme self is symptomized by different names. If you see the correlation, same. What is spoken in Chatushloki, Aham Eva Sameva Agre. The same thing is being spoken here. Is it not? We'll just open the parallel tabs. Hope it is not creating confusion among all of you. It is not. All of you are able to connect to it with it, what I'm trying to relate. See carefully here. I, the person of God, was existing before the creation when there was nothing but myself. Somebody can read this translation?
The personality of Godhead, the master of all living entities, existed prior to the creation as one without a second. It is by his will only that creation is made possible, and again everything merges in him. This supreme self is symptomized by different names.
Yes, and do you read this?
Purport. The great sage.
No. Read the. You're not able to. Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. I'll have to share the screen multiple times. You read this purport.
Can I share it on different tabs, Samprabhu?
You can read this translation, Anand Mahaprabhu.
Translation. Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself. Nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead. And after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead.
Yes. Just what is spoken in 2.9.33 is again repeated in 23 and 24 of 3 point. Yes, same thing is coming here. I think you read this before. We'll go to 24 now. Can read 24. Yes, can read this.
The Lord, the undisputed proprietor of everything, was the only seer. The cosmic manifestation was not present at that time, and thus he felt imperfect without his plenary and separated parts and parcels. The material energy was dormant, whereas the internal potency was manifested.
Yes. So basically, this speaks about which all things that I existed before everything, neither the material creation nor the material nature, Prakriti, nor creation, Srishti, and after the annihilation also I only remain. So therefore, A, B, and D is covered in 23 and 24. What is that? Lord, only Lord existed. There was no material nature. There was no creation. And after annihilation, what is remaining? Only Lord. 23-24 speaks about that first, second, and fourth line of Chatushloki. And the 25th speaks about this third line of Chatushloki. Sava etasya samdrashtu shakti sad asad atmikah maya nama mahabhaga yedan nirmame vibhu. This is the third line. Yes, you can read this.
The Lord is the seer, and the external energy, which is seen, works as both cause and effect in the cosmic manifestation. O greatly fortunate Vidura, this external energy is known as Maya or illusion, and through her agency only is the entire material manifestation made possible.
So this is the material nature coming into existence. So basically this 23, 24, 25 is Chatushloki is all 4 lines. First, second, and last line is 23, 24. And this 25 is the Maya, which is illusion. It is made possible through her. That is the third line. Further, the second part of the Chatushloki, 3.7, just now we read Lord interaction with his Mahamaya. So we'll go to it. Anushvo, how we can share tab parallelly? You can take control.
On Google Chrome, yes. Listen this way. So I can switch.
Chatushloki, you can go to second 34.
In 3520.
2934. Just go next.
Yes.
Down. It is very long. And go to 379. Yes. Yes. You come to now 2934. Can read 2934 translation.
O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness.
Okay, come to 3 and 7, 9. Reflection in darkness.
Sri Maitreya said, certain conditioned souls put forward the theory that
379. 379, no? 9th verse. 9. Okay.
9.
Yes.
Sri Maitreya said, certain conditioned souls put forward the theory that the Supreme Brahman or the personality of Godhead is overcome by illusion or Maya, and at the same time they maintain that he is unconditioned. This is against all logic.
Basically, this is speaking about the Maya, which is also spoken in the 34th verse. So that means the Lord, Maya is a part and parcel of the Lord. It's a potency of the Lord, but it cannot cover the Lord. Anything which is very attractive and it is not reminding us about the Lord, that is Maya. So therefore, Mayavadis, they debate that Maya can cover the Lord. Basically, this is speaking about the external energy, how it covers the Jivatma, especially Mayavadis. You go to the next verse, 9 to 10. Yes.
The living entity is in distress regarding his self-identity. He has no factual background, like a man who dreams that he sees his head cut off.
Yeah. You go to 34 now. 34. And no need to read. Confidence, just see this translation. Anything appears to be of any value, if it is not relation to me, has no reality. Basically, head being cut off in a dream is of, dream is real, but head is not being cut off. It has no reality. And what it is illusory energy. That is, know it as my illusory energy. It has no reality. Now we come. So next, the moon is being reflected in the ocean. Same thing, the reflection which appears to be in darkness. So this 9, 10, and 11 shlokas of the 3rd chapter resemble 2.9 from 34, the 3 parts of the shloka. We can go to this 11th verse. This is a little technical, which you will not get it in any other place. It is not in Bhagavatam. It is not in any of the place. It is in Sandarbha. Jiva Goswami has written in Sandarbha this thing. So if you miss out it, you'll think what is going on. Nothing is going on. Same Chatushloki, what is happening? Maitreya is repeating the same thing to Vidura. Yes, Prabhu, read.
As the moon reflected on water appears to the seer to tremble due to being associated with the quality of water, so the self associated with matter appears to be qualified as matter.
Yes. Basically, the whatever is happening in the material world, the living entity is marginal energy. It cannot suffer, but its misidentification with the body, which is material nature, Maya, makes it suffer. So that is what Chatushloki 34 speaks about. It speaks about Maya, Lord's external energy. It basically speaks about that. So two Chatushlokis till now we have covered. Artrite artam yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tad vidyadatmano mayam yata vaso yata tamaha. It's simply like a reflection. But the reflection of the moon in water, the moon can never shiver. Only reflection can shiver because reflection is on the waves. Similar Jivatmas are on the waves, but Jivatmas are connected with the material nature, therefore they suffer. But moon is not in touch with the waves. So moon is independent. On the other hand, the rays are coming from the moon. And moon is in the spiritual world. And now Chandra is in no contact with the material nature. So therefore, he is not controlled by mind. Okay, Prabhu, you can give me the conclusion.
Prabhuji, one message has come. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj is serious and critical. Please pray. I just wanted to.
What message has come?
It has come, Prabhuji. Gopal Krishna Maharaj is critical. That message has come. So please pray.
Yes.
We can all pray for.
Yes. Devotees can take out. Okay. We'll continue with where we left. We had done till 12. This is also done, and this is also done. Basically, the solution for this is how to come out of the Maya material nature. Vijnana. Basically, we know, everybody knows that Lord is the creator of this material world. That is Jnana, Isha. But Isha also has Maya, which understanding her working, we can try to overcome. But that misconception of self-identity can be diminished gradually by the mercy of person of Godhead Vasudeva through the process of devotional service to the Lord in that mode of detachment. That is a way to overcome Maya, and that is only possible by the mercy of pure devotees. And we had also seen this. The devotees do not stop the material senses from acting, but they engage in the service of the Lord. And our activities must be so transcendently saturated that the Lord will be kind enough to look upon and engage us in his transcendental service. Then only can the senses be satisfied completely and be no longer troubled by the material attraction. Till here we had seen. So we have to continue from the further. So what comes beyond is Maya Shakti. third part, that is a Rahasya. The third Chatushloki, 2.9.33, 34, 35. That comes from in next shloka, 14th shloka. This is third Chatushloki. Ashesha Sanklesha Samam Vidatte Gunanuvada Shravanam Murare Kim va Punastacharana Ravindam Paraga Seva Ratiratma Labdha. Yes. Someone can read? Mataji can read. Anand Mohan Proof is done. Na? So Mataji can read.
Simply, translation, simply by chanting and hearing what the transcendental name, form, etc. of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one can achieve the cessation of unlimited miserable conditions. Therefore, what to speak of those who have attained attraction for serving the flavor of dust of the Lord's lotus feet?
So, to make this understand nicely, we'll have to go to 2.9.35. Chatushloki is being again explained by, yes, Yata Mahantani Bhutani Bhuteshu Cheshu Anu Pravishtani Pravishtani Tata Teshu Natyeshwam.
Purport?
No.
Translation.
I myself.
Brahma. Sorry.
I'm just
Oh,
trying
Brahma.
to read. Mataji can wait. I'll tell you to read. So here, Brahma is telling that material universe elements enter into the cosmos. At the same time, they don't enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created. At the same time, I am outside of everything. एतवदेव जिज्ञासं तत्व जिज्ञासुनात्मनः अन्वय व्यतिरेकव्यं यत्सद सर्वत्र सर्वदः. A person who is searching after this absolute truth, the person of Godhead must certainly search for it up to this, in all circumstances, in all space and time, both directly and indirectly. So this is a mystery, this 36 shloka. So what is the mystery? This mystery consists of two parts. It is not by Jnana, Dhyana, Raja, but only by Bhakti. Bhakti is divided into two parts. What is Bhakti? Two parts of Bhakti. One is Sadhana Bhakti, one is Raga Bhakti. So this Chatushloki is being explained in 14th verse by Maitreya Rishi. Here. So, if you see the shloka, Ashesha Shanklesh Samam Vidatte, all the miseries, unlimited miserable conditions can be nullified. By what? Punanuvada Shravana Murare, Murari, who killed the demon Mura in front of Narakasur's, had a fencing of a moat of crocodile, like Maharaj, morning Rajasham was selling. And then there was electric fencing, then there was Mura demon. So Krishna killed him, therefore his name is Murari. So somebody glorifies Gunanuvada Shravanam Murare, his miseries will get nullified. Kimva Punasat Charanara. This hearing and chanting is sadhana bhakti. The first two lines indicate the sadhana bhakti. And the second line, Kimva Punastat Charanarivindam Paraga Seva Ratiratma Labdha. This refers to Ragatmika Bhakti or Bhav Bhakti. So that Rahasya in Chatushloki of Bhagavatam, which we just saw 36 shloka, it is divided into two parts, Tad Angam and Tad Rahasyam. That Rahasya is given in this 14th verse. What is the Rahasya? Rahasya is nothing but Ragatmika Bhakti, which Prabhupada will write in the purport now. We clearly see. Yes, Mataji, you can continue reading this. Purport.
Purport. Two different methods for controlling the material senses are recommended in the Vedic scriptural wisdom. One of them is the process of Jnana, or the path of philosophical understanding of the Supreme, Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagwan. The other is that of direct engagement in the transcendental loving devotional service of the Lord. Of those Of these two most popular methods, the path of devotional service is recommended here in the best because one on the path of devotional service does not have to wait for the attainment of the fructive result of pious activities or for the result of knowledge. The two stages of executing devotional service are first, the stage of practicing devotional service with our present senses under the regulation of the recognized scriptures, and second, attaining sincere attachment for serving the particles of the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. The first stage is called sadhana bhakti or devotional service for the neophyte, and which is rendered under the direction of pure devotees. And the second stage is called raga bhakti, in which great sages Maitreya now gives in the mature devotees automatically takes to the various services of the Lord out of sincere attachment. The great sage Maitreya now gives the final answers to all the questions of Vidura. Devotional service to the Lord is the ultimate mean for mitigating all the miserable conditions of the material existence. The path of knowledge or that of mystic gymnastics may be adopted as a mean of achieving that purpose, but unless mixed with bhakti or devotional service, they are unable to award the desired result. By practicing sadhana bhakti, one may gradually rise to the point of raga bhakti, and by performing raga bhakti in loving transcendental service, one can even control the supreme powerful Lord.
So this Raga Bhakti, by practice of which one can control even the Supreme Person of Godhead, is called as Rahasya. This is the topmost secret. One who cannot be controlled by anything can be controlled by love. This is the Rahasyam. There is Jnana, there is Vijnana. Jnana is how Lord creates everything. Vijnana is how the three modes bind and how we can unwind that by taking shelter of the Lord. And how we can unwind that? We can unwind that by Sadhana Bhakti and by Raga Bhakti. So Raga Bhakti is mentioned in 14th verse, and Sadhana Bhakti is also being mentioned here. So basically, both the Chatushlokis are being mentioned here. That 30, 32, 33, 34, 35. 33, 34, 35, 36. So 35 speaks about Sadhana Bhakti. 36 speaks about the Radha Bhakti, that is Rahasyam and Tadangam. So that is how Jiva Goswami mentions the connection of this with this next shloka. Vidurivacha Sanchinna Samsayomayam Tava Shuktashino Vibu Uvayatrapi Bhagavan Manome Sampradhavati. Anushpu.
Prabhuji, your sound is coming less somehow. You know, I'm trying to. We have tried to increase our volume.
And then others are reading, their sound is very perfectly coming.
So somehow little bit less is coming. I don't know if others are taking.
We have also.
Okay, now it is okay.
Yes, but so better. Yes.
I'll have to speak loudly. Hare Krishna. Anushpu, please read.
Vidura said so powerful things, my Lord, all my doubts about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entities have now been removed by your convincing word. My mind is now perfectly.
Anushpu, your sound is also breaking a lot.
It is breaking.
I think I'm speaking, I'm using Bluetooth speaker. I'll close that.
Okay, because of sound. Okay, please read.
Can read.
Now it's okay.
The science of Krishna or the science of God and the living entities is so subtle that even a personality like Vidura has to consult persons like the sage Maitreya. Doubts about the eternal relationship of the Lord and the living entity are created by mental speculators in different ways. But the conclusive fact is that the relationship of God and the living entity is one of the predominator and the predominated. The Lord is the eternal predominator and the living entities are eternally predominated. Real knowledge of this relationship entails reviving the lost consciousness to this standard. And the process for such revival is devotional service to the Lord. By gaining a clear understanding from authorities like the sage Maitreya one can be situated in real knowledge, and the disturbed mind can thus be fixed on the progressive path.
Yes. So basically, Vidura is telling that by your answers, all my doubts are cleared. And Prabhupada is writing that Vidur, actually, there is something called as Vidur is already pure devotee. But what lesson we can learn from this? Prabhupada is trying to take it out. Even a personality like Vidura cannot understand this creation, Maya, the Jivatma's connection. So he has to consult. So what he is trying to tell is when Lord Krishna comes, he accepts a guru. So basically, what lesson is we have to learn is as a Jivatma, we need to approach spiritual master to understand this intricate details. And this will be more clear in further purports. Prabhupada explains how we can overcome Maya. Maya cannot be overcome so easily by our Jnana itself. That Vijnana comes by associating with the pure devotees. That is what Prabhupada is going to speak. By gaining clear understanding from authorities like Sri Maitreya, one can become situated in real knowledge, and the disturbed mind can thus be fixed on the progressive path. That means association of pure devotees. Sadvayetad vihartam vidvan natma maya yanam hare abhati apartam nirmulam vishwamulam nayad bahi. Next devotee.
So learners say, your explanations are very good, as they could be disturbance to the conditioned soul, have no other basis than the movement of the external energy of the Lord. Purpose. A living entity, unlawful desire to become one with the Lord in every respect is the root cause of the entire material manifestation. For otherwise, the Lord has no need to create such a manifestation, even for his pastime. The conditioned soul, under the spell of the external energy of the Lord, falsely suffers many unfortunate incidents in material life. The Lord is the predominator of the external energy, Maya, whereas the living entity is predominated by the same Maya under the material condition. The false attempt of the living entity to occupy the predominating post of the Lord is the cause of his material bondage, and the conditioned soul's attempt to become one with the Lord is the last snare of Maya.
Yes. Basically, living entity suffering is because of connection to Maya. Yascha moda tamo loke yascha buddhe parangata tav ubhau shukam edete krishyati antarito jana.
Hare Krishna. Both the lowest of fools and he who is transcendental to all intelligence enjoy happiness, whereas persons between them suffer the material pangs. Purport. The lowest of fools do not understand material miseries. They pass their lives merrily and do not inquire into the miseries of life. Such persons are almost on the level of all the animals, who, although in the eyes of superiors are always miserable in life, are unaware of material distresses. A hog's life is degraded in its standard of happiness, which entails living in the filthy place, engaging in sex enjoyment at every opportune moment, and laboring hard in a struggle for existence. But this is unknown to the hogs. Similarly, human beings who are unaware of the miseries of material existence and are happy in sex life and hard labor are the lowest of fools. Yet, because they have no sense of miseries, they supposedly enjoy so called happiness. The other class of men, those who are liberated and are situated in transcendental position above intelligence, are really happy and are called Paramahamsa. But persons who are neither like hogs and dogs nor on the level of Paramahamsas feel the material pangs, and for them, enquiry about the supreme truth is necessary. The Vedanta Sutra states, Atato Brahma Jidnyasa. Now, one should inquire about Brahman. This enquiry is necessary for those who are between the Paramahamsa and the fools, who have forgotten the question of self realization in the midst of life in sense gratification.
So basically, what is being spoken here is Vidura is thanking Maitreya Rishi for answering, clearing his doubts. So 8 to 14, Maitreya dispels a misconception, Shiva and Ishvara. And then from 15 to 20, Vidura shares his heartfelt relation with Maitreya Rishi. So disturbance of the Jiva have no other basis than external energy. 17, close to the fools and liberated enjoy, all the other suffer. So next, so Vidura expressing his heart again. अर्थाभावं विनिश्चित्य प्रतीतस्यापि नात्मना तं चापि उष्मच्चरणा सेवायां परान्मुदे. Yes.
Madan Mohan Prabhu can read it.
Madan Mohan.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Translation. But my dear, I object to you because I can understand that this material manifestation is without substance, although it appears real. I am confident by serving your feet, I will be able to give up the false idea. Shall I read it? Purport, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Purport. The suffering of the conditioned soul are superficial and have no intrinsic value, like the cuttings of one's head in dream. Yet, although this statement is theoretically true, it is very difficult for the common man or the neophyte on the transcendental path to realize practically. However, by serving the feet of the great transcendentalists like Maitreya Muni and by constantly associating with them, one is able to give up the false idea that the soul suffers material pangs.
So basically, by serving Maitreya Muni, one can, by his constantly associating with him, one is able to give up that Jivatma is about. Many times people ask now, why so many people have to suffer? It's because of associating with the material modes of nature. But only by associating pure devotees, one can give that idea that why Lord does such a thing with the Jivatma. So Lord doesn't do anything. It's Jivatma who suffers. It's a cause of its own suffering. Yatsevaya bhagavata kutastasya madudvisha ratiraso bhavettivura padayor vesanardana.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. By serving the feet of spiritual master, one is able to develop transcendental ecstasy in the service of the personality of Godhead, who is the unchangeable enemy of the Madhu demon, and whose service vanquish one's material distresses. Purport. The association of a bona fide spiritual master, like the sage Maitreya, can be of absolute help in achieving the transcendental attachment for the direct service of the Lord. The Lord is the enemy of the Madhu demon, or in other words, he is the enemy of suffering of his pure devotee. The word Rati Rasa is significant in this verse. Service to the Lord is rendered in different transcendental mellows, relationships, neutral, active, friendly, parental, and nuptial. A living entity in the liberated position of the transcendental service to the Lord become attracted to one of the above mentioned mellows. And when one is engaged in the transcendental loving service to the Lord, one's service attachment in the material world is automatically vanquished. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 2.59, रसवर्जम रसोपसम param दृष्ट्वा निवर्तन्ते.
Yes.
Hare.
So this is the glory of associating with the pure devotee, spiritual master. That by associating with them, whatever is which cannot be eradicated, material distress can be eradicated when we develop pure devotional service, and pure devotional service can be developed by association of a spiritual master. It becomes very, very easy, pure devotee. Yes. But what is the connection to 19 to 20? Association of pure devotee or association of a guru who is a very, very pure devotee, that is a cause for overcoming Maya and developing attachment to Krishna. But not everyone can get the association of such a pure devotee. Why? Somebody who has not done enough tapasya in the past life, he will not get a chance to serve such a pure devotee. That is the 20th verse. Durapahi alpatapasa seva vaikunta vartmashu yatropagiyate nityam deva devo janardana. So whose austerities are meager? Yes, next devotee.
Persons whose austerity is meager can hardly obtain the service of the pure devotees progressing on the path back to the kingdom of Godhead as the Vaikunthas. Pure devotees engage 100% in glorifying the Supreme Lord, who is the Lord of the demigods and the controller of all living entities. Purport.
Yes.
The path of liberation recommended by all authorities is to serve the Mahatmas or Transcendentalists. As far as the Bhagavad Gita is concerned, the Mahatmas are the pure devotees who are on the path to Vaikuntha, the kingdom of God, and who always chant and hear the glories of the Lord rather than talk of dry, profitless philosophy. This system of association has been recommended since the time immemorial, but in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, it is especially recommended by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even if one has no assets of favorable austerity, if one nevertheless takes shelter of the Mahatmas, engaged in the pure devotional service of chanting and hearing the Lord, glories of the Lord, one is sure to make progress on the path back home, back to Godhead.
Yes. So Prabhupada is even more merciful. Maitreya is telling that Vidura is telling to Maitreya, yes, solution for purification of heart and attachment to Krishna is association of pure devotees. But association of pure devotees only be one can get an opportunity only by austerity or tapasya, bhakti tapasya in the past life. But Prabhupada is telling whether one has it, one doesn't has it, whatever assets of favorable austerity one has, one should take shelter of Mahatmas, engaged in hearing, chanting the glories, Shravanam and Kirtanam. Then one can make the progress. So here we conclude one section of Vidura revealing his heart to Maitreya. So this is Vidura, who has become very happy. He is revealing his heart. So next section from 21 to 38. Vidura is asking many more questions. Again, he's asking more questions, almost like 16, 17 questions he's going to ask. So before that, we will just conclude with this Chatushloki, what Jiva Goswami is trying to tell. Till now we have seen third canto, 5th chapter, 23-25, that is Jnana, 2.9.33. Then 2.9.34, we saw in 3.7.9 to 11. That is the moon, its rays. The rays connected on the water, they are quivering. So that is the interaction of the Maya with the Lord, with the material nature. Rahasyam we saw in 14. And also, what is Rahasya? The material elements are entering into the universe. That is how it speaks. And therefore, the prayers offered by the elements are the demigods after the creation in 3, 5, 8, 30 to 51. We have seen the demigods offering prayers. So that is as good as Rahasya. That is exactly matching with the Rahasya aspect of what Krishna has explained to Brahma. The remaining Tad Angam, that comes in 12 and 13, that is Sadhana Bhakti. We will just see that and we'll go ahead. Tadangam is Sadhana Bhakti. So this is Vidura, Maitreya Rishi is explained to Vidura about Sadhana Bhakti. Savai Nivritta Dharmena Vasudevanu Kampaya Bhagavad Bhakti Yogena Tiryudatte Sanairiha. Misconception of self-identity can be diminished gradually by the mercy of person of Godhead, Vasudeva, through the process of devotional service in the mode of detachment. This is Sadhana Bhakti. and senses are satisfied in the seer super soul, the person of Godhead, and merge in him, all miseries are completely vanquished as after sound sleep. Basically, this two shlokas speaks about ahituki apratihata, or Bhaktivedanta Bhakti Yogena Jate Purusham Param. And the next 14 shlokas speaks about the Raga Bhakti, Paraga Seve Ratiratma Labda. So all the 4 shlokas of Chatushloki come Vidura. He is getting it known from Maitreya Rishi. So same Chatushloki is again reconfirmed in the explanation of Maitreya Rishi to Vidura. So further questions of Vidura to Maitreya Rishi. This is very fast. We'll cover it quickly. सृष्टवाग्रे महद् अदीनि सविकाराणि अनुक्रमात् तेभ्यो विराजम् उद्धृत्य तम् अनुप्रविशद्विभु. Yes, Mataji, you can read.
After creating the total material energy, the Mahat Tattva, and thereby manifesting the gigantic universal form with senses and sense organs, the Supreme Lord entered within it. Purpose. Fully satisfied by the answers of sage Maitreya, Vidura wanted to understand the remaining portions of the creative function of the Lord, and he took the clue from the previous topic.
Basically, I wanted to understand. He was satisfied, but he wanted to understand because he asked some questions regarding creation, and then he gave a pause. And when as soon as he saw that Mahavishnu is in touch with material nature, he started asking questions regarding Jivatma and Lord. So he's continuing from where he left. That is the flow. Yam ahur adhyam purusham sahasrangri urubahukam yatra vishwa ime loka sa vikasam tas asate.
The Purusha incarnation lying on the causal ocean is called the original Purusha in the material creations, and in his Virat form, in whom all the planets and their inhabitants live, he has many thousands of legs and hands. Purport. The first Purusha is Karano Dakshai Vishnu, the second Purusha is Garbho Dakshai Vishnu, and the third Purusha is Kshiro Dakshai Vishnu, in whom is contemplated the Virata Purusha, the gigantic form in which all the planets with their different developments and inhabitants are floating.
Yes, basically this is speaking about the Shirodakshai Vishnu, who expands as Virata Purusha, or who is having legs everywhere, thousands of legs, thighs, and hands. Yasmin Dashavida Prana Sendriyartendriyatastvit Vairito Yato Varanas Tadvibhutir Vadasvana. Next, Shubharadhi Mataji. Aru.
O great Brahmana, you have told me that the gigantic Virat form and its sense objects and 10 kinds of life there exist with 3 kinds of life others. Now, if you will kindly explain to me the different powers of the specific divisions.
Yeah, if you remember in the 6th chapter, Vidura was asking to Maitreya, she answered him, there is 1, 10, 3. 1 consciousness, and then 10 life years, and the 3 Karana Karta Kartatva kind of thought processes. So that is again, he is asking, repeating. He wants to know more about it. Yatra putraischa pautrascha natribhi sahagotrajay praja vichitrakratya asanyavir idam tatam. Yashika Mataji.
My lord. Oh my lord, I think oh my lord,
Yes, please read.
I think that the powers manifest in the forms of sons, grandsons, and family members has spread all over the universe in different varieties and species.
Prajapatinam sapatish chakalpe kana prajapatin sargamscha vanuga sargamscha manun manvantaradipam. Yes.
O learned Brahmanas, please describe how the leader of all demigods, namely Prajapati Brahma, decided to establish the various Manus, the heads of the ages. This also describes those Manus and their descendants. The human race or Manushasar descends from the Manus, sons and grandsons of the Prajapati Brahma. The descendants of Manu reside in all the different planets and rule all the universe.
Yeah. So till now, what Vidura has asked is in 21st he has asked. In 21st, he's asking question regarding Supreme Lord entered into Mat Tattva with sense and sense organs. But then Karandaksha Vishnu lies and about the Virat Rupa. 23 to 38 he's telling to explain about different powers of specific divisions, Vibhutis, Prajapatis, Brahma, Manus, descendants of those Manus. And now next is going to speak about different planets. Yes. उपर्यदश्च ये लोका भूमेर्मित्रात्मसजासते तेषां संस्थां प्रमाणं च भूर्लोकश्च वर्णया.
Translation. O son of Mitra, can you describe how the planets are situated above the earth as well as underneath it? And also please mention their measurement as well as that of the earthly planets. Purport. Kasmino bhavo vijnate sarvam idam vijnatam bhavatri. Mundaka Upanishad 1.3. This Vedic hymn declares emphatically that the devotee of the Lord knows everything material and spiritual in relationship with the Lord. Devotees are not simply emotional, as is conceived by certain less intelligent men. Their direction is practical. They know everything that is and all the details of the Lord's domination over the different creations.
Yes. Mitra asking because Maitreya Rishi, because being a devotee knows everything. So next shloka speaks about categories of living beings and their distribution. Tiriyan manusha devanam sarishrishpa patatrinam vadana sarga samvyuham garbhasveda dvijodbidam. Yes. Did we complete the full loop? आनंद मंत्र can भज हरि प्रभु पढ़ना है आपको, अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा.
Hello, Hare Krishna.
हाँ.
Am I audible?
हाँ.
Also, please describe the living being under different classification: subhumans, humans, demigods, reptiles, those born of the embryo, those born of perspiration, those who are twice born, birds, and the plants, land, vegetables. Kindly describe their generations and subdivision also.
Yes. So after explaining about the different species of humans, Maitreya Vidura is asking about Guna Avatar and pastimes of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Guna Avatare Visvasya Sargasthiti Apayashrayam Shajata Srinivasasya Vyachaksho Udara Vikramam. Yes, Anand.
Please also describe the incarnations of the material modes of nature, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar, and please describe the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead along with his magnanimous activities. Purport. Although Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar, the three incarnations of the material modes of nature, are the principal deities for the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the cosmic manifestation, they are not the final authority. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is the ultimate goal, the cause of all causes. He is the ashray, or the final rest of everything.
Yes. He's ashray as the final rest of everything. So here in this shloka, we see carefully about Guna Avataras and then about incarnation of Supreme Personality of God. That is coming from Krishna. वर्णाश्रम विभागंश्च रूपशील स्वभावतः ऋषीणां जन्म कर्माणि वेदस्य विकर्षणम्. Yes.
O great sage, kindly describe the divisions and orders of human society in terms of symptoms, behaviors, and the characteristics of mental equilibrium and sense control. Also, please describe the births of the great sages and the categorical divisions of the Vedas.
Yes. We can just read from here, Pooji. Vidura.
Vidura is famous in history as being born of Shudrani mother. Yet he is more than a Brahmana by qualification because he is seen here to be the disciple of a great sage Maitreya Muni. Unless one achieves at least the Brahminical qualifications, one cannot understand the Vedic hymns.
Yes. Basically, this shloka speaks about different varna, ashrama, and mixing births of different categories. So it's being mentioned there. And next, यज्ञश्च वितानानि योगश्च पदतो प्रभो नैष्कर्म्यश्च सांख्यश्च तंत्रम वा भागवत smritam. So here it is being spoken. Vidura is asking to speak about Sankhya Yoga, then Tantra, then Naishkarmya, Yogasya. So Prabhupada speaks on Sankhya of Kapila Muni, and then Tantra is not black magic, but it's about Narada Bhakti Sutra. And then that is what Prabhupada speaks on. Yeah. Anushwa.
Please also describe the expansions of different sacrifices and the paths of mystic powers, analytical study of knowledge, and devotional service, all with their respective regulations.
Can read that Tantram here, full purport you can read. So
The
read
word-
the first part and then you come to the highlighted. Yes.
The word Tantram is significant herein. Sometimes Tantram is misunderstood to be the black spiritual science of materialistic persons engaged in sense gratification. But here Tantram means the science of devotional service compiled by Sri Narad Muni. Sankhya philosophy is the basic principle of acquiring knowledge, as will be explained by the sage Maitreya. The Sankhya philosophy enunciated by Kapil Dev, the son of Devi, is the real source of knowledge about the supreme truth.
Knowledge not based on it is mental speculation. It cannot give us any profit. Pashandapata Vaishamya Pratiloma Niveshanam Jivasya Gatayo Yascha Yavate Gunakarmaja. So therefore intercaste marriages, Pratiloma mixing of the modes, that is asking in this thing. Furthermore, yeah, next devotee can speak. Read. Faithless atheist crossbreeding in different species of life, all based on the effects of three modes, is being discussed here. Yes. Sachin Pro. Madan Mohan, please read.
Hare Krishna. Translation. Please also describe the imperfections and contradictions of the faithless atheist, the situation of crossbreedings, and the movements of the living entities in the various species of life according to their particular modes of nature and work.
Yeah, you can read the highlighted page.
Okay. Different species of life are evidence of varieties of mixtures of modes of material nature.
Yeah. Therefore, the different varieties of species shows that everybody is in different modes. Prabhupada writes combination of living entities in different modes. Varna ashrama is called as crossbreeding. That is called as pratiloma, anuloma marriages. Faithless partialities. Dharmarthakam mokshanam nimittani avirodata vartaya dandanitescha shutascha vidikamprata. Madan Prabhu, please continue.
Translation. You may also describe the non-contradictory causes of religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and salvation, and also the different means of livelihood and process of law and order mentioned in the revealed scriptures.
Yes, Dharmarthaka, moksha, and law and order. Shraddhascha vidimam brahmam pitranam sargamevacha grahanakshatrataranam kalavayava samstitim. Time factor. Please explain about the pitra, time, stars, luminaries. Mataji, you can read.
Yes. Please also explain the regulations of offering respects to the forefathers, the creation of the Pitruloka, and the time schedule on the planet, stars, and luminaries along with their respective situations.
Yes.
The duration of days, nights, months, and years is different on the different planets, stars, and luminaries. The higher planets like Moon and Venus have time measurements different from those on the Earth. It is said that 6 months on this planet, Earth, equal 1 day on the higher planet. In the Bhagavad Gita, the duration of 1 day of Brahmaloka is measured to be 1,000 times of the 4 yugas and the 4,32,3 43 lakhs
1,000 years.
years multiplied by 1,000. And the month and the year on Brahmaloka are calculated according to that measure.
Yes. दानस्य तपसो वापि यच्चेष्टपूर्तयो फलं प्रवासस्तस्य यो धर्मो यश्च पुंसा उत्तापदी. Charity, austerity, sacrifice, and duties in different situations is mentioned here. Yes. Ramkishore Put.
Please also describe the fruitive results of charity and penance and of digging reservoirs of water. Please describe the situation of persons who are away from home, and also the duty of a man in an awkward position. The digging of reservoirs of water for public use is a great work of charity, and retiring from family life after 50 years of age is a great act of penance performed by a sober human being.
Yes. येनवा भागवं स्तुष्ये धर्मयोनिर्जनार्दन संप्रसिद्धति वा येषाम् एतद् आख्यायिमे नगा. Next.
O sinless one, because the personality of Godhead, the controller of all living entities, the father of all religion and all those who are candidates for religious activities, kindly describe how he can be completely satisfied. Purport. All religious activities are meant ultimately to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord is the father of all religious principles. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.16, four kinds of pious men, the needy, the distressed, the enlightened, and the inquisitive, approach the Lord in devotional service, and their devotion is mixed with material affection. But above them are the pure devotees, whose devotion is not tainted by any material tinge of fruitive work or speculative knowledge. Those who are only miscreants throughout their lives are compared to demons. Bhagavad Gita 7.15. They are bereft of all knowledge in spite of any academic educational career they may pursue. Such miscreants are never candidates for satisfying the Lord.
Yes, how he can be completely satisfied? He can be completely satisfied only by pure devotion service, not by anyone. Anuvratanam sishyanam putranam cha dvijottama anaprashtam api bruyur gurovo dinavatsalaha. How to do it, spiritual masters, brahmanas. It's being spoken here. Yes.
O best among the Brahmanas, those who are spiritual masters are very kind to the needy. They are always kind to their followers, disciples, and sons, and without being asked by them, the spiritual master describes all that is knowledge.
Yes. Why Maitra Rishi is being asked by Vidura like this? He's telling Vidura has many questions, but Vidura is telling, I asked so many questions, just don't answer those questions. Those questions which I have not asked, you can even answer those. Some topics I have not inquired about, but but I don't know. I don't even know that name of the topics. You can even speak about that, because spiritual masters are very, very merciful to their disciples, sons, followers. Yes, Mataji, you can read the purport.
There are many subjects to be known from the bona fide spiritual master. The followers, disciples, and sons are all on one level for the bona fide spiritual master, and he is always kind to them and always speaks to them on transcendental subjects, even though he is not asked by them. That is the nature of the bona fide spiritual master. Vidura appealed to Maitreya Muni to speak on subjects about which he might not have asked.
Yes, that is the connection. Tattvanam bhagavam stesham pratida pratisankrama tatremam ka upasriran ka usvid anuserate. Pralaya. Subhalakshmi Mataji.
Please describe how many dissolutions there are for the elements of material nature and who survives after the dissolution to serve the Lord while he is asleep.
So what is being asked here is about dissolution, pralaya, are for elements of material nature and who survives after the dissolution to serve the Lord while he is asleep. So Prabhupada quotes about Brahma Samhita, Karnava jale bhajati sma yoga nidram ananda jagadanda saroma kopat adhar shaktim avalambya param samurtim govindam adi purusham yassai kanishvasit kala tavalamba jivanti loma vilaja jaganda jagad andakunatah Vishnur Mahan Sayya Yasya Kala Visheshu Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. Mataji can come here to the last. After the resolution, you can read from here.
The dissolution of the material manifestations, the Lord and his kingdom beyond the causal ocean do not disappear, nor do the inhabitants, the Lord's associates. The associates of the Lord are far more numerous than the living entities who have forgotten the Lord due to material association. The impersonalist explanation of the word aham in the 4 verses of the original Bhagavatam, aham eva samevagre, etc., is repeated here. The Lord and his eternal associates remain after the dissolution. Vidura's inquiry about such persons is a clear indication of the existence of all the paraphernalia of the Lord. This is confirmed in the Kashi Khanda of the Skanda Puran as quoted by both Jiva Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, who follow in the footsteps of Srila Sridhar Swami. Chavante Yad Bhakta Mahatyam Pralayad Pari Atochyuto Kile Loke Sa Eka Sarvabho Yaya. The devotees of the Lord never annihilate their individual existences even after the dissolution of the entire cosmic manifestation. The Lord and the devotees who associate with him are always eternal in both the material and spiritual worlds.
Yes, basically after liberation, 2 kind of liberation. One is one goes on back to Godhead, Mukti Hitvata Anyata Rupam Surupena Vasiti. Then there is Nirodha. The material nature absorbs the whole souls into Mahavishnu's body. Those Nirodha souls, they have still some karma left. They are not purified. They will come again in the next creation. But the Mukti souls, they go back to Godhead. So that is how it is. They don't lose their identity. Purushasya cha samastanam Surupam va parasya cha jnanam cha naigamam yattad guru-sishya prayojanam.
What are the translation? What are the truths regarding the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What are their identities? What are the specific values in the knowledge in the Vedas? And what are the necessities for the spiritual master and his disciples? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
You can read the last
living-
one, Mataji, last yellow highlighted.
To disseminate transcendental knowledge, one must retire from mundane activities on the strength of enlightenment in knowledge in terms of Vedic wisdom. That is the sum and substance of all the questions in this verse.
Yes, basically one should give up the speculation and one should take shelter of the Vedic knowledge and take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. When by that mercy, one can easily understand all the questions in this verse. What is being asked here is Jiva, Bhagavan, their Swarupa, and what is specific value in knowledge in the Vedas. What is the identity? What is the description? What are the necessities for spiritual master and disciples? So basically, spiritual master should be a devotee. Kiva vipara kive nasi shudre ke nevai. Ei Krishna sattva vyakti sei guru hoy. And the disciple should be eager to advance. That is what Prabhupada is trying to read. Basically, one must take up to bhakti process to understand these questions. So now, from next 39 to 42, Vidura declares his confidence in Maitreya. Like a disciple, he has full confidence in Maitreya Rishi, who is the spiritual master. Nimittani chatasyeha proktani anagashurivi svato jnanam kuto pumsam bhakti vairagyam evava. Yes, Suryakant Krishna book. Please read.
Spotless devotees of the Lord are mentioned the source of such knowledge. How could one have knowledge of devotional service and detachment without the help of such devotees?
Spotless devotees have mentioned the source of such knowledge. Basically, he is glorifying Maitreya Rishi. How could one knowledge of devotional service and detachment without the help of such devotees like you? He's telling him. Yes, please read the purport.
There are many inexperienced persons who adopted self-realization without the help of spiritual master. They decry the necessity of the spiritual master and try to take his place themselves by propagating the theory that a spiritual master is not necessary. Srimad Bhagavatam, however, does not approve this viewpoint. Even the great transcendental scholar Vyasdeva had a need of spiritual master, and the instruction of his spiritual master Narada, he prepared this sublime literature, Srimad Bhagavatam. Even Lord Chaitanya, although he is Krishna himself, accepted a spiritual master. Even Lord Krishna, Sandipuni Muni, in order to be enlightened, and all the acharyas and saints of the world are spiritual masters. In the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna accepted Lord Krishna as spiritual master, although there was no necessity of such formal declaration. So in all the cases, there is no question about the necessity of accepting a spiritual master. The only stipulation is that spiritual master should be bona fide. That is, spiritual master must be in proper chain of disciplic succession called a parampara system. Suris are great scholars, but they may not always be anaga or spotless. The anaga Suri is one who is pure devotee of the Lord. Those who are not pure devotees of the Lord or who want to be on the equal level with him are not anaga Suri. Pure devotees have prepared many books of knowledge on the basis of authorized scriptures. Sri Rupa Goswami and his assistants on the instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have all written various literatures for the guidance of prospective devotees. And anyone who is very serious about raising himself to the standard of a pure devotee of the Lord must take advantage of those literatures.
Yes. So Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, all 6 Goswamis are Anaga Suri, and they have prepared books of Bhakti under the guidance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So without the help of spiritual master, one cannot understand the intricacies of Bhakti. So Vidura is glorifying Maitreya Rishi. Etan me prachata prashnan hare karma vivitsaya bruhi me jnasa mitravat mitratvat ajaya nashta chakshusha.
My dear sage, I have put all these passions before you with a view to knowing the pastimes of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are the friend of all, so kindly describe them for all those who have lost their vision. Purport. Vidura put forward many varieties of questions with a view to understanding the principles of transcendental loving service to the Lord. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 2.41, devotional service to the Lord is one, and the mind of the devotee is not diverted to many branches of uncertainties. Vidura's purpose was to be situated in that service to the Lord, wherein one merges in undivertedly. He claimed the friendship of Maitreya Muni, nor because he was Maitreya's son, but because Maitreya was actually the friend of all who have lost their spiritual vision due to material influence.
So basically what Prabhupada is telling here is like only Brahmanas or one who's coming in a particular lineage only can become initiated. So Vidura, also Dasiputra, he took shelter of Maitreya Rishi not because he was coming in the same lineage, but such devotees like Maitreya, they are generally kind to everyone, irrespective of coming in any gotra. They give knowledge if one is very eager. That is.
So I have one question. It is said that Vidura's purpose was to be situated in that service to the Lord, wherein one merges undivertedly. So merges, what is the meaning of that? Like
merges means ekanta. Ekanta matlab whose end is one. That is pure devotional service.
Oh, so it's not impersonal aspect, merging like that.
It comes in first canto also. Ekanta. The dues also ekanta. Generally, ekant is told as isolation. That is actually in Sanskrit, ekant is whose goal is one. That is Krishna.
We have one question.
Yeah.
In the purport, it is mentioned that the last sentence, he claimed that friendship of Maitreya, not because he was Maitreya's son, but because Maitreya was actually the friend of all. So, what is the exact understanding here?
I just explained now. I will explain again. If Vidura was not Maitreya's son, generally in olden days or till now, even in Vrindavan also, the caste Goswamis, Brahmanas used to give knowledge only to their Brahmanical sons. In some, they used to appear in their own families, not to somebody who's from different family.
Okay.
Here, Vidura is son of Vasudeva, but he's born of a Dasi Putra. But still, Maitreya is giving him knowledge. So he's not coming in his lineage physically, but still, Maitreya being the friend of all, he's giving this knowledge. He's not seeing
Okay.
the bodily conception of life. That is what Prabhupada wants to speak here.
Okay. Thank
you.
Prabhuji, but from the English, it is suggested that Vidura was Maitreya's son.
Vidura's
He claimed the friendship of Maitreya Muni, like not because he was Maitreya's son. So, do you want to say that it should be Vyasa's son?
No.
He claimed means who? Vidura. Vidura claimed friendship of Maitreya, not because he was Vyasa's son, but because Maitreya was actually friend of all. That should have been the correct English.
It can be, yeah. Even if you put Vyasa's son, so Maitreya can be very favorable to Vidura. But
that
he
is
had
why I
no
think
physical, whether it is Vyasa's son, whether it is Maitreya's son. If it is Maitreya's son, the Brahmanical Goswami's lineage, which Nectar of Instruction speaks about, or if it is Vyasa's son, he has some friendship with Vasudev. Therefore, he may be obliged to be very dear to him. Both are bodily conceptions. Yeah, when I read it, it should have been Vyasa's son. But then I understood the end of whether it is Vyasa or Maitreya, the end result is bodily conception of life. Bodily.
Yes.
Sarvavedescha yajnescha tapodanani chanaga jiva abhaya pradhanasya na kurviram na kurviram kalam api. Shiromani Radhika Mataji.
Hare Krishna. O spotless one, your answers to all these questions will grant immunity from all material miseries. Such charity is greater than all Vedic charities, sacrifices, penances, etc. Purport: the highest perfectional work of charity to give people in general immunity from the anxieties of material existence. This can be done only by performing activities in devotional service to the Lord. Such knowledge is incomparable. Cultivation of the knowledge in the Vedas, performance of sacrifice, and distribution of munificent charities altogether cannot form even a part of the immunity from the panges of material existence that is gained from devotional service. The charity of Maitreya will deliver not only Vidura, but due to its universal nature, all other in all times. This Maitreya is immortal.
Yes. So that is what, Vidura wants to glorify him. O spotless one, what kind of immunity you have granted us from material miseries is greater than the charity of Vedic charity, sacrifice, penances, because this is really from cycle, birth and death. This is immortality. This will make you immortal. Because of this, Maitreya will be delivered. Because of this, Vidura will be delivered. And because of those who, like all of us, we are trying to read this, we'll also get delivered if you read it sincerely, like Vidura is reading. Shri Shukayuvacha Saitam Aprashta Purana Kalpa Guru Pradhanena Muni Pradhanaha Pravruddha Harsho Bhagavat Katayam Sanchodhitastam Prasam Ivaha. Anand Mohan Prabhu.
Thus, the chief of the sages, who was always enthusiastic about describing topics regarding the personality of Godhead, began to narrate the descriptive explanation of the Puranas. Being so inspired by Vidura, Maitreya was very much enlivened by speaking on the transcendental activities of the Lord.
Yes.
Purport.
Great, Roji.
Great learned sages like Maitreya Muni are always very enthusiastic about describing the transcendental activities of the Lord. Maitreya Muni, being thus invited by Vidura to speak, appeared to be smiling because he actually felt the transcendental bliss. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of 3rd canto, 7th chapter of Srimad
Yes.
Bhagavatam.
Therefore, Maitreya, because he's speaking about the Lord which is spiritual, in parampara, as he heard from Lord Krishna himself. So therefore, he's becoming very blissful as he is enthused by this seva. So he's nourished. Similarly, Bhagavatam is such a book that when we read it carefully, when we are trying to hear it from Prabhupada, when you're trying to speak it to others, whether it is Maitreya Rishi's role, whether it is Vidura's role, we get enthused, infused with Krishna Bhakti. So next chapter 3.8, it is manifestation of Brahma from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. So till now, Mahavishnu is created, the Mahat Brahman is created, Virata Rupa is being manifested, but Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Virata Rupa comes from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is also there, and Virata Rupa is also manifested. Now Brahma has to be manifested from the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. So from first verse to 9th verse, Maitreya, because Vidura has asked question to Maitreya, he concludes his question here. Maitreya is inspired to answer. So Maitreya acknowledges Vidura's devotion and disciplic succession of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Maitreya is going to tell where he heard Bhagavatam from. That he is going to explain, because there are different original Bhagavatam. Sukadeva Goswami is speaking, he's heard it from Vasudeva, and Sukadeva Goswami is speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, and that has been, whatever discussion was heard by Parikshit Maharaj was heard by Suta Goswami, is into Sonakadi Rishi. The discussion of Chatushloki was between Maitreya and Vidura. So Maitreya might have heard it from somebody. So where Maitreya heard it from, he's going to speak it in first 9 verses. Maitreya Vacha Satsevaniyo Batapura Vamsho Yalokapalo Bhagavad Pradanaha Babhuvitet Hajita Kirti Malam Pade Pade Anu Tanayasya Abhikshanam. Yes.
Translation. The great sage Maitreya Muni said to Vidur, the royal dynasty of King Kuru is worthy to serve the pure devotees because all the descendants of that family are devoted to the personality of Godhead. You are also born in that family, and it's wonderful that because of your attempt, the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are becoming newer and newer at every moment.
Yes, you know this history, now it comes in 9th canto. Yati Maharaj was married to Sarmishta. Yati Maharaj was married to Devyani. From Devyani, one lineage came, Chandra Vamsha. When in Sarmishta also one Vamsh came, the Puru and Yadus. From Yadus came Krishna. From Puru came, because Puru accepted the old age of Yayati Maharaj. So in that lineage happens to become the Puru Vamsha. In the same Vamsha, Vidura is coming. So Maitreya is glorifying his connection Puru, because Puru gave his old age gave his young age in exchange for the old age. Therefore, he got his blessing, and therefore they became the king. And you are coming the same glorious parampara of Puru. Therefore, you are devoted to the person of Godhead, and you are born in that family. It is wonderful that because of your attempt, the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are becoming newer and newer at every moment. Because you're coming in the parampara, so you're asking such questions, and because of that, everybody will be benefited. That is the understanding of the shloka when Maitreya is glorifying Vidura. Mataji, you can read the purport.
The great sage Maitreya thanked Vidura and praised him by reference to his family glories. The Puru dynasty was full of devotees of the personality of Godhead and was therefore glorious because they were not attached to the impersonal Brahman or to the localized Paramatma, but were directly attached to Bhagavan Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. They were worthy to render the service to the Lord and has pure devotees. Because Vidura was one of the descendants of that family, naturally he engaged in spreading wide the even new glories of the Lord. Maitreya felt happy to have such glorious company as Vidura. He considered the company of Vidura most desirable because such association can accelerate one's dormant propensities for devotional service.
Vidura was one of the descendants of the family. He engaged in spreading wide the ever new glories of the Lord. Maitreya felt happy to have such a glorious company as Vidura. He considered the company of Vidura most desirable because such association can accelerate one's dormant propensities for devotional service. Jnana, Lord is the origin. Vijnana, how Maya binds a living entity, how to get out of it. What is Vijnana? Satyam Tadangam. Tadangam is sadhana bhakti. But to rise from sadhana bhakti to Shuddha bhakti, we need association of pure devotees. So we should try to become pure, and also we should try to search or yearn for the association of pure devotees. Soham nanam shula sukaya dukkam mahadgatanam viramaya tasya pravruttaya bhagavatam puranam yada sakshad bhagavan rishibhya. Yes, Anushka.
Let me now begin speaking on the Bhagavad Puran, which was directly spoken to the great sages by the personality of Godhead for the benefit of those who are entangled in extreme miseries for the sake of very little pleasure.
Yes, Bhagavatam spoken for delivering all of us. We are subject to extreme miseries, but for the sake of very, very little pleasure, bodily pleasure. Yes. So he's going to explain the history of Bhagavatam, which he had heard. Yes, we can read.
The sage Maitreya proposed to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam because it was specially compiled and as traditionally comes down in the disciplic succession to provide the solution to all the problems of human society. Only one who is fortunate can have the opportunity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of pure devotees of the Lord. Under the spell of the material energy, the living entities are entrapped in the bondage of many difficulties simply for the sake of little bit of material happiness. They engage in fruitive activities, not knowing the implications. Under the false impression that the body is the self, the foolish living entities become attached to so many things, thinking that they can relate with such material paraphernalia forever. The gross misconception of life is so strong that a person suffers continually, life after life, under the external energy of the Lord. If one comes in contact with both the book Bhagavatam and the devotee Bhagavat, who knows what the Bhagavatam is, then such a fortunate man gets out of the material entanglement. Therefore, Sri Maitreya Muni, out of compassion for the suffering man in the world, proposes to speak on the Srimad Bhagavatam first and last. What first and last means?
I also don't know what is first and last. I'll find out and get him. Asinam urvayam bhagavantam adhyam. Asinam urvayam bhagavantam adhyam sankarsham devakunta sattvam vitsavastattvamata parasya kumara mukhya munayo anvaprachan. So basically now Maitreya is going to speak about Bhagavatam. So where Maitreya heard Bhagavatam from? Where he heard it from four Kumaras. And where four Kumaras heard it from? From Sankarshan. And how they traveled from their Maharloka to that place through the medium of Ganga Ganges. That explanation comes in next 9 shlokas, next 7 shlokas. Yes. Sachin Prabhu.
Some time ago, before University of Pune, Janak Kumara, the chief of the boys' band, accompanied by other great sages, inquired exactly as you have about the truth regarding Vasudeva, the supreme from Lord Sankarsana, who was seated at the bottom of the universe. It is in clarification of the statement that the Lord spoke directly on the Bhagavatam. When and unto whom the Bhagavatam was spoken is explained. questions similar to those put forward by Sura were asked by great sages like Kumara and Lord Sankara. The plenary expansion of the Supreme Lord Vasudeva answered them.
So same questions were put forward, which Vidura were asked by great sages like Sanat Kumar and Lord Sankarshan. The plenary expansion of the Supreme Lord answered them. And while answering, he quoted Bhagavatam. Svayam eva dishnam bhavo manyantam yadvasudeva vidam ama amananti pratyagdritaksham bhujakoshamishat unmilayantam vibodadhayaya. Yes, Madan Mohan Prabhu.
Translation. All that time, Lord Sankarsana was meditating upon his Supreme Lord. When the Lord esteemed as Lord Vasudeva, but for the sake of advancement of the great Lord sages, he slightly opened his lotus-like eyes and began to speak.
So at that time, Sankarshan opened his eyes and started speaking. Yes. Svarduni udardrai swaja jata kalape upasprashantas charano padanam padmam yadarchanti ahi rajakanya sapremanan nana balibir vararta.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The sages came from the highest planet down to the lower region through the water of the Ganges, and therefore the hair on their heads was wet. They touched the lotus feet of the Lord, which are worshipped with the various paraphernalia by the daughters of the Serpent King when they desire to good husbands. But the Ganges water flows directly from the lotus feet of Vishnu, and its course runs from the highest planet of the universe down to the lowest. The sages came down from the Satyaloka by taking the advantages of flowing water, a process of transportation made possible by the power of mystic yoga. If the river flows thousands of miles, a perfect yogi can at once transport himself from one place to another simply by dipping in its water. The Ganges is the only celestial river which flows throughout the universe, and great sages travel all over the universe via this sacred river. The statement that their hair was wet indicates that it had been directly moistened by the Ganges. The water originating from the lotus feet of Vishnu. Whoever touches the water of the Ganges on his head surely touches the lotus feet of the Lord directly, and thus become free from all effects of sinful acts. If after taking a bath in the Ganges and being washed of all sins, a man guards himself against committing further sinful acts, then certainly he is delivered. But if he again takes up the sinful activities, in his bath in the Ganges is as good as that of the elephant, who nicely takes his bath in the river, but later spoils the whole thing by covering himself with dust on the head.
Yes,
land.
they went by the medium of Ganges, and they're fortunate to be touched by the Ganges water. Their hair was moistened, spoiling, so it was as if they have been touched by the lotus foot of the Lord. Murganato vachasanograga spalat padena shikritani tadnya kirit saha sahasramani praveka pradyotitodam fanasahasram.
The four Kumaras, headed by Sanat Kumara, who all knew the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, glorified the Lord in rhythmic accents, with selected words full of affection and love. At that time, Lord Sankarsana, with his thousands of raised hoods, began to radiate an effulgence from the glowing stones on his head. Purport. The Lord is sometimes addressed as Uttama Shloka, which means one who is worshipped with selected words by devotees. A profusion of such selected words comes from a devotee who is fully absorbed in affection and love for the devotional service of the Lord. There are many instances in which even a small boy who was a great devotee of the Lord could offer excellent prayers in the choicest words for glorification of the pastimes of the Lord. In other words, without the development of fine affection and love, one cannot offer prayers to the Lord very suitably.
Yes. So His Holiness Sachidanand Maharaj also in his most of the Japa workshops. What is the difference between why our chanting becomes so dry, hackened, we become indifferent? Because the most important element of a prayer, chanting is a prayer. But we don't approach chanting as a prayer, then prayer means it should have affection and love. So without affection and love, one cannot offer prayers to the Lord very suitably. Prabhupada is writing here. So similarly, your chanting has to be in a prayerful mood. And chanting, for chanting to be in a prayerful mood, we should consciously try to develop fine affection and love for the Lord throughout the day, while reading, while hearing, while serving, while cooking, while doing any service. So that attention to detail with fine affection and love will also help us to chant, and while chanting also, that will pervade. So therefore, it's not the age, maturity, or one is Devata, one is Asura. What is needed here, Prabhupada is writing, there are many instances in which even a small boy who was a very great devotee of the Lord could offer excellent prayers, choicest words. And most important element of a prayer is affection and love. That is needed. And our chanting should also have these components for our chanting to be effective. Proktam kilaitat Bhagavata Nivrittadharma Viratayatena Sanatkumaraya Sachaha Prishta Sankyayana Yanga Drita Vrataya. So because Sanat Kumara is offered with affectionate, therefore even Sankarshan with his boots, he tried shaking his boots because they offered it affection. Yes. Next devotee.
Lord Sankarshan thus spoke the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam to the great sage Sanat Kumar, who had already taken the vow of renunciation. Sanat Kumar also in his turn, when inquired of by
Sankyayana
Muni, explained Srimad Bhagavatam as he had heard it from Sankarshan.
Yeah, Sankarshan spoke to Sanat Kumar told to Sankyan Muni. In that way, it came to Maitreya Muni. Prabhupada writes about that in purport. Yes, Mataji, you can read. Parampara.
Purport. This is the way of the Parampara system. Although Sanat Kumar, the well-known great saintly Kumar, was in the perfect stage of life, still he heard the message of the Srimad Bhagavatam from Lord Sankarshan. Similarly, when he was questioned by Sankhayana Rishi, he spoke to him the same message he had heard from Lord Sankarshan. In other words, unless one hears from the proper authority, one cannot become a preacher. In devotional service, therefore, 2 items out of the 9, namely hearing and chanting, are most important. Without hearing nicely, one cannot preach the message of Vedic knowledge.
Yes. So we should hear in Parampara, and then hear in a proper mood in Parampara with affectionate and with love, then we can preach. We'll cover till 10 and we'll stop. Sankhayana Paramhamsya Mukhyo Vivakshmano Bhagavad Vibhuti Jagatso Asmad Guru Ve Anvittaya Parasaryata Brahapatescha.
The great sage
Parasaraya
was the chief among the transcendentalists, and when he was describing the glories of the Lord in terms of Srimad Bhagavatam, it so happened that both my spiritual master Parashar and Brihaspati heard him.
Sankarshan to Sanat Kumar to Sankyayana was speaking, then Parasara and Brihaspati were spiritual guru of our Maitreya, they heard it, and Maitreya heard it from Brahaspati Parasara. Provachamayam sadayaduripto muni pulastena purana madhyam soham tavaitat katayami vatsa shraddhalave nityam anuvrataya.
The translation: the great sage Parashara, as aforementioned, being so advised by the great sage Pulasya, spoke unto me the foremost of the Puranas, Bhagavatam. I shall also describe this before you, my dear son, in terms of my hearing, and because you are always my faithful follower. Purport by Srila Prabhupada teacher. The great sage of the name Pulasya is the father of all demonic descendants. Once upon a time, Parashara began a sacrifice in which all the demons were to be burned to death because his father had been killed and devoured by one of them. The great sage Vasishtha Muni arrived at the sacrifice and requested Parashara to stop the deadly action, and because of Vasishtha's position and respect in the community of sages, Parashara could not deny the request. Parashara, having stopped the sacrifice, Pulatsya, the father of the demons, appreciated his Brahminical temperament and gave the blessing that in the future he would be a great speaker on the Vedic literature called the Puranas, the supplements of the Vedas. Parashara's actions was appreciated by Pulaksha because Parashara had forgiven the demons out of his Brahminical power of forgiveness. Parashara was able to demolish all the demons in the sacrifice, but he considered demons are so made that they devour living creatures, men and animals. But why, on that account, should I withdraw my Brahminical qualification of forgiveness? As the great speaker of the Puranas, Parashara first of all spoke on the Srimad Bhagavat Purana because it is the foremost of all the Puranas. Maitreya Muni desired to narrate the same Bhagavatam he had heard from Parashara, and Vidura was qualified to hear it because of his faithfulness and his following the instruction received from superiors. So Srimad Bhagavatam was being narrated from time immemorial by the disciplic succession, even before the time of Vyasadeva. The so-called historians calculate the Puranas to be only a few hundred years old, but the factual the Puranas existed from time immemorial before all historical calculations by the mountaineers and speculative philosophers.
Yes, two things are spoken here. One is what is the eligibility qualification of speaker? He should be blessed. He should be developing the Brahmanical power of forgiveness. He should be beyond bodily conception, like Parasara. Also, his father is devoured, but he could see the hand of Lord in it and understand this is created by the Lord. So let I not take it on the one-to-one level. Let me forgive, and therefore become blessings of Pulastya. He could speak Bhagavatam because of his developing a quality of forgiveness. He started speaking. He became the speaker, and Maitreya because he heard it because of his coming in the disciplic succession, coming in the Kuru dynasty of all the pure devotees, and he's being a devotee of Lord Krishna and pleasing Maitreya Rishi. So Maitreya is trying ready to speak to him Bhagavatam. So these are the two qualifications of hearer and speaker. Udaplutam Vishvaidam Tadasit Yan Nidraya Milita Yan Drinyamilayat Ahindratalpe Dishayanayeka Kritakshana Swatmarato Niriha.
Translation: when the three worlds were submerged in the water, Garbhodaksha Vishnu was alone, lying on his bedstead. The great snake Ananta, and although Garbhodaksha Vishnu appeared to be in slumber in his own eternal potency, free from the action of the external, his eyes were not completely closed. The Lord is eternally enjoying transcendental bliss by his internal potency, whereas the external potency is suspended during the time of the dissolution of the cosmic manifestation.
Okay, so here ends the description from 3.129 about Bhagavatam, which was spoken by Sankarshana to Sanat Kumara. From there it came to Which Rishi? Sankayana Rishi. And then it came to Parasara and Brahaspati. And Parasara, being blessed by Pulastya Muni, he became the speaker. Maitreya received it, and Maitreya, being pleased by Vidura, is narrating it. This is another disciplic succession. We have heard it from Brahma to Narada, Narada to Vyasa, Vyasa to Sukadeva Goswami, which is compiled in this way, what Bhagavatam we are reading now. But so this Bhagavatam which is there, it's compilation of different descriptions coming in this whole Bhagavatam here. Okay, so we'll continue from the 11th verse. Only 32 verses are there. 22 verses you have to cover tomorrow. We'll take it tomorrow. Hare Krishna, all of you can chant extra rounds. Today is Ekadashi also, and Maharaj is in very critical condition. In temple also Kirtan has started. All devotees have reached there. I'll also go there now. So all of you can also try to chant, read, pray for Maharaj. I think Mataji has put a chat here, first and last. She has asked a question. First means book devotee or Granth Bhagavat, and last means devotee Bhagavat. Anushru. First and last. Okay. We'll try to find it out. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai. Right.